Hi, it's Isabel back at you with my second sketchbook. We left off on me trying to find a pairing print for my coat. So I've done all these prints inspired by when I was testing my branding for what font. So I've actually made a couple of prints out of it. Said lots of testers here. I actually then made an error, but I really liked this sort of glitchy error effect, so I looked into this and a few artists and designers that kind of used this effect and set out to try and do it myself. So there you go, found the one. I also then decided I wanted to sort of jazz up my tartan I originally had. So this is made out of all the sort of like glitchy effects and old tartans in there, and using pen and making it really textural. Skipped page. And adding some of my fabrics in there, just really I just had fun with it. Here's me trying out on quilting again, and my material that my coat's going to be made out of, a bit of embellishment. Here I've really liked this fraying. I think it adds a lot of texture and a lot of kind of pizzazz to the garment. Loose threads I really like because it reminds me of like these drips I have in my prints, and a bit of applique, because this is a good fabric to fray, but also just adds a bit of something to the fabric. This is me testing my print further, just making sure I've got the right one, going down all roots and things like that. These pages where the kind of textures I used to make the print, again, just exploring more possibilities for my print. Ultimately I decided on this one. Here again I'm testing the applique and heavy embellishment with a sewing machine. We'll go on to the next page. Here I'm testing the vinyl and kind of trying to do like a glitched sort of effect on top here. I'm also testing the sizes, so that one was small, I think this is large, and then this is medium. And then I really, again, love this fraying effect. It's a good fabric. It actually is UV, again, really good UV. But I like how it leaves you with like some threads dangling, and it's got a bit of sparkle to it, and it just really lifts the garment and makes sure it's not flat. Again, I continue to test with these fur. This fur melted, so I couldn't sublimate it. Sorry, I forgot the word. Although I did try it for literally like 5 seconds, and I could maybe get away with that, but equally the print doesn't show up. So I then had this fur, and I found that I could vinyl it. So I thought if I could vinyl it, and I love how it just hides in there, like from far away you don't really see it. And then when you'd flash that, that'd show up very well. Again with the word print, I like how it's kind of like distorted, and it's almost like a secret message, like you can't see it there, and then if you just do that, it's revealed. So and it takes colour as well, so I was very happy about this. But yeah, it's just a few little experiments to see where I could use it in my collection. Okay, back to the coat. So here I'm trying all my different fabrics in a range of different ways, obviously stating certain reasons why one will work or one not. Here's me physically testing my final sizes, putting it on my practice garments and doing this. Ultimately, when the fabric came, I decided the fabric was way too nice to put on a coat because it was just fighting the other print. So ultimately I did go back to the fur collar and decided to leave it for something else. But anyway, here's my CADs. I did a CAD with the collar off just because you can't really see the coat with the collar on. And here I was just testing for my lining, which one matches the fur nicely. And then this is just a little mood board, sort of to sum up my coat and how my collection's sort of changing. And then this is just a page that focuses on my coat and shows it off. Next, I've mentioned Blade Runner before in my last book, but Blade Runner is great because it's just the colours and the vibe, and I really loved these sort of bold graphics behind here and here. It's just got that glitchly, you know, futuristic vibe, and her hat was like a shaggy fur, lot like what I have in my collection, and you know, you can see punk themes coming through here as well. So I mainly focused on the coats because, as I said, some of the original sketches from the designer there reminded me of my coat because it's all about these like big collars and like just big oversized coats. So I looked more into the sort of coat, drew some sketches. Again, it's the lady with the hat, really like the hat and the shaggy fur. And then I just loved this detail on the sleeve, this kind of like meshing together of fabrics, which will come in later. I thought it looked really cool. Here's just a sort of like new lineup, kind of some inspired by the Blade Runner outfits and some, you know, I developed earlier. So I decided to tackle my sort of poncho thing. I was inspired by this sort of thing. That's the thing I was kind of going for. Just testing sort of the top of it and whether it fitted well. I was happy with. So then I went ahead and made it. This was double wadded. So it was very stiff, but I did quite like the rigidity in the hood. Testing some seam samples here. And then here, just having a go on what else I could do to this garment. But here are my CADs. I did a few CADs because I was just kind of unsure of what I want to do with the garment, and I think that'll only sort of be revealed the further on I got into the collection. I then go on to a hoodie. Originally I liked the idea of long sleeves, but I just really love this kind of ruching texture and this big cuff, which matches sort of the vibe on my coat. I then decided to make it reversible because it's better to have two hoodies than one. Just having a look at pockets there again. Different ways of kind of wearing it with a belt. And lots of ideas for zips on the sleeve and pockets on the sleeve. Marked my favourite ones here. But ultimately, I decided not to go ahead with that because it would ruin the ruching on the sleeve that I liked. So just CAD'd up the hoodie here, trying out different things. And there you go. That's sketchbook 2.